I said, hey yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Mojados, and I'm back with another video. I hope you guys are doing well, because today we're going to be talking everything Toncoin. So we're going to be discussing what is Toncoin, Toncoin background, funding and collaboration, consensus, tokenomics, what's next, and also closing thoughts, right? So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to stick around all the way to the end so you don't miss any juicy details. But quick intro to myself. My name is Mo. I like to do research on different protocols, blockchains, projects, topics, so on and so forth. So if you're into that kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe to my newsletter. Link is in the bio for my website. It's on the research tab. Again, just talking about valuable insights, research, news, and of course, trade recaps if you guys are interested in that stuff. But also, feel free to follow along throughout this video by clicking the link and going along with me. So, without further ado, let's jump right in here. So, what is Toncoin? Toncoin stands for the Open Network, right? So, TON, Ton, the Open Network. Toncoin. So they just added the word coin at the end. Toncoin is a layer 1 blockchain that was created in 2018 by one of the founders of Telegram. Toncoin is a fast, secure, and scalable blockchain that can handle up to millions of transactions per second while being user-centric. And this is from the white paper. You guys can click the link. Any link that you see in blue, it's pretty much sourced from, from some type of media outlet, whether that's CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, the white paper, the website, so on and so forth. And then you can also see Toncoin's founding developers aim to create a network that is fully decentralized and welcome other developers to create applications on the open network. The Open's network mission is to provide solutions like the option to create dApps, offer decentralized storage solutions, offer decentralized VPNs, which is very, very interesting. The idea of a decentralized VPN, right? And also DNSs for traditional websites or, addresses and short readable names. So if you didn't kind of catch the theme yet, they're pretty much focusing on decentralization. And I don't think that's ironic because Telegram is a decentralized network essentially. So moving on to the Toncoin background. So Toncoin Labs and Foundation are basically two separate entities. I do know that they don't kind of clarify what they are exactly. So correct me if anybody knows exactly, please feel free to comment below. But from my understanding, Toncoin Foundation or Ton Foundation is a entity that kind of funds grants through that entity, and then the labs, Toncoin Labs, are the developers that are kind of working on the protocol itself. So maybe that's kind of how most of these blockchains are kind of, created, with the foundation and then a labs side. So that's kind of what I've seen. And in this area, I wrote that it was created by Pavel Durov and Nikolai Durov, right? So basically they both created together, and one of the brothers kind of left the project, right? So that's kind of why I said one of the founders in the first paragraph. So one of the brothers just said, I'm out of this right now because of the SEC. And when they first basically launched in November 19, they raised $1.7 billion, guys. You heard me right, $1.7 billion. They ended up giving back all the money to investors because the SEC, they reached a settlement for $18 million with the SEC. And then they ended up launching the network separately at a later time, not by raising money. So that's what I know. And, they kind of just said, screw it. We believe in this ecosystem. We know what we want here. And we're going to build it out no matter what way we got to do it. And I give them a lot of credit for that. So there's a lot of other people behind it. But the main focus, again, and it's going to be a theme throughout this video, is that they want to focus on privacy. It was created by these brothers to protect data from third parties, marketers, advertisers, etc. TON used to be known as Telegram Open Network, but was later changed to the Open Network in 2021. The reason behind this was to disassociate Telegram from the network, as they are two completely different platforms with different purposes, but they still share the same mission, and that is decentralization. So that's kind of that. Yeah. So that's kind of a little bit of background on the Toncoin itself and how it kind of created, and some basically hiccups that they faced. Toncoin funding and collaboration. As we've covered in the last section, Ton held an ICO but returned $1.7 billion to investors. And I just want to take a quick moment just to let you guys know, these guys are legit, okay? They returned back $1.7 billion. Just think about that for 1 second. I think that's actually hilarious. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, they just returned $1.7 billion. Like, yeah, it's not a problem. And that to me just like gives some type of credibility that, you know, I can't associate with other platforms or other blockchain founders or whatever the hell, because they just gave it back. You know, I think most people would just be like, well, I kind of got what I want here, is I'm out of here. But they didn't do that. So what did they do? The team decided to launch the network without raising any money, which is in line with their mission. The only way tokens can be extracted was to participate in staking. So a little bit more of a background, which I didn't include here because I didn't find too much about it. There used to be mining on the actual Toncoin blockchain. So you used to be able to mine it with the GPUs, but then they went into staking, and they have a whole section on that on the website. I didn't think it was relevant to add here, but you guys can go ahead and click here. You'll pretty much see more about that. So something that I just mentioned to you guys if you guys are interested to know more about it. But moving on, in recent news, Telegram's no SIM sign-up feature helps Toncoin rally. So this is kind of what got me curious about what the hell is Toncoin? Why is this thing rallying for, right? And I think this is really cool because, you know, a lot of people were saying, hey, you know, Telegram, why does it need your phone number, right? Is it really a privacy-enabled messaging app? And it actually is, right? I think it actually is a privacy messaging app, right? Where it's not traceable, it's not trackable, your data is not being sold anywhere, and that's kind of the point of it, but it still has your phone number at the end of the day. So a lot of people are still skeptical, like, hey, why would I use that for? But they're really serious about going no SIM here by enabling, you know, DNSs, right? So Ton DNSs, which is a decentralized naming service, which will basically help you bypass a SIM card and use the blockchain to have a Telegram account, which is really cool. So we'll see where that goes in the future. Another massive collaboration is within the ecosystem that raised $250 million from Huobi, KuCoin, 3 and others. So it'll be fun to watch the ecosystem grow. And I think this is really, really cool because basically, as you guys can see here, they raised $250 million to fund the ecosystem, right? So people are waiting to go ahead and, you know, grow this ecosystem, and they're just throwing money at it because, hey, like, we want this ecosystem to thrive. We want this to basically, you know, do really well. And there's obviously a lot of solutions here, right? We saw decentralized naming services, storage solutions, you know, having staking enabled, and, you know, more things that could potentially, you know, be created on the blockchains. And you can only imagine how early we are in this whole entire, you know, movement of crypto. But also, I feel like there's just so much more to happen as well, right? Like, who knows what's gonna happen? So yeah, enough of my rambling. Looking at the tokenomics now, what you guys can see here is TON is the native token for the open network blockchain. Currently, the circulating supply is 1.5 billion almost, and it has an uncapped supply of 5 billion. So, you know, something to know is that there's an inflation schedule of 0.6%, and that's also on their website. And again, they're very, very transparent about everything because tokenomics is one of the things that a lot of projects don't talk about, right? A lot of protocols, when you look across the board, they don't talk about how much they have. They don't talk about, you know, what their vesting schedule looks like or if there's inflation around it. They kind of don't tell you these things. But Toncoin does a good job. And when I say Toncoin, I'm talking about the team behind it, because Toncoin is just a blockchain, and it's an asset, right? So, you know, I think they do a great job with that. And they kind of also talk here about how the tokens are being allocated. 85% are being reserved for users, 5% is for validators, 10% for the developers, according to the community members. And, you know, this can change, right? Maybe there's some shady business, and I'm just saying this because I got this from a Japanese website. I think it was like, who knows? Wait, let me just pull it up here and show you where I got it from. It's Russian. I'm so sorry, not Japanese. And when I translated it, it looked like one of the people who were, you know, a part of the team kind of said this, right? Dmitry Goreshvsky. I might have completely butchered that. That's where I got this from. So, you know, that's just the only thing that I found about how the distribution is. So that's, you know, something I want to share with you guys. If you guys find something else different, please let me know, because I also didn't see a vesting schedule of, you know, the team. I'm sure the team has some tokens, and also what is their unlocking period, right? I think that these things should also be mentioned, especially when it comes to tokenomics, because you don't want basically, you know, big accounts dumping on you, right? I don't think that's a good look at all. But overall, they do a good job, but there's still some parts there that they don't explain. So again, overall, great job, just missing a little bit there. So if you do consider buying it, definitely take that with a grain of salt. So moving on, you guys also pause here if you want to look at the, you know, more use cases. But overall, it's like any other layer 1 blockchain, but they also have, you know, the decentralized VPN side of it, which is really cool too. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that decentralized data storage and, you know, DNSs, which is kind of popular right now on multiple blockchains. There's a lot of stuff there, so we'll see what happens with that. Moving on to staking. Ton holders may contribute to network by staking, and staking rewards seem to be consistent with profit shares at 60% among pools. But, you know, something I didn't see, and I don't think this might matter to most of us, is like unstaking period, right? How long does the staking last for? Can you withdraw at any moment? Stuff like that. You can run your own validator with 600 ton coins. That's a lot. So it's $1.2 million at the current moment with this video. Probably gonna be more later, who knows. And you know, there's currently about 157 million tokens being staked, which you guys can see here. I believe that's what it means. And I divided that by the current circulating supply, which is about 1.5 billion. And that's about 3% of the supply, which is not very bad, but it's relatively low. So that's something that I think is interesting. Maybe I completely messed that up, but I like to look at how much of the network is being staked, because it kind of gives me an idea of like where holders' sentiment is, right? You know, are people really, you know, looking forward to maybe, you know, staking it for a long term and saying, hey, I don't care, I'm going to keep staking? Or maybe the reason why people are not staking is because there's kind of a learning curve or a curve to stake your tokens. And I will say that for the average person that's in crypto, this is a little bit more difficult to stake your tokens. So if anybody hears me in the Toncoin community or developer or someone, if they can make an application to make staking easier, that would be really dope, right? Because I think a lot more people would want to stake their tokens. So, you know, that's something there that I would like to share. But also, in the past 6 months, addresses have grown over 3x. That's really, really cool. And I think that's a testament to, you know, what's happening, right? A lot of people are focusing on privacy, right? Because we know that this blockchain, that's the #1 priority, is privacy, decentralization. That's why they're focusing on decentralized VPNs and talking about decentralized name services and talking about decentralized storage, right? There's no purpose for them to do that except because they believe in it, right? And that's kind of what, you know, again, the theme is here. And that makes me bullish myself, because I believe privacy is a right. And yeah, I like what they're doing there with that. So again, you could pause at any moment to kind of go over these things if you wish. But, you know, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It kind of also says here that the annual inflation rate is 0.6%, which, you know, stated earlier. And also talking about the roadmap. So looking ahead, seeing what's next for the team, and also seeing, you know, what are they expecting as well, right? Is the roadmap too ambitious? Are they selling you a dream, right? And I think that's kind of what I look for as well. You know, it's important to, you know, be reasonable and kind of roll things out in a timely manner. But also, you know, I want to see things being rolled out in a timely manner, but also, are they delivering? Are they, you know, doing things clean, or are there hiccups along the way? Or is there some type of funny business happening in the background? And so I'm just starting to monitor this myself. If you guys have seen any hiccups or anything like that, feel free to share. It might not be a bad thing at all, but again, I think it's important to look at every single little detail when you're looking at these blockchains, learning about them, because at the end of the day, you know, there is still a lot of things that are unknown about blockchains, right? At the end of the day, no matter what we see, like how much research we do, there might be some levers on the backside that we might not know, right? Because I don't know exactly how the governance works, like if they can just, you know, pull some fancy levers and then something else, like some funny business happen. You know, that's possible. I'm not saying it's like 100% gonna happen, of course. You know, it's just that there's just so much unknown things about the governance at this moment, which I might make another video on later on when it becomes a little more transparent. But you know, with the average staking protocol, and I don't want to create any FUD, right? I just think that if you're researching something, you should kind of look at all sides of it, because we saw Solana's blockchain just completely shutting down. No one ever talked about it. Recently with the BNB hack, you know, that took place, there was more tokens added to the supply, and those things are things that nobody even knew could even happen, but they happened, right? And so I'm just being skeptical. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I think it's healthy to have a little bit of skepticism. Okay, so like I was saying though, with most proof of stake blockchains, it's about how much tokens you have. Token concentration is kind of usually how proof of stake blockchains work. I didn't see anything about the governance here. Of course, if you do hold tokens, you can kind of see here that you have governance rights. So whoever holds a lot of tokens kind of controls the network in some ways, right? So there's no no additional information on that. You can go look at explorers to see wallet addresses and kind of track them that way. But again, just being skeptical. I'm not creating FUD. I like this blockchain. I hope they continue to thrive. But moving back onto here, not to ramble too much, they do a good job. And what they're looking to complete here in 2024 is storage, decentralized storage. And I would love to see what they're going to do here. I know that Arweave does, storage as well, but I want to see what TON does differently, right? Because at the end of the day, these blockchains are competing against each other, right? And I think that if they're going to go ahead and offer this storage, it's cool that other things are being offered with it, right? Again, talking about the sites, talking about the proxy and DNS and payments and even the DeFi aspect of it as well, from a consensus standpoint, is going to be all important and play a role on whether or not people use blockchain A or blockchain B. So we're going to see what happens with that. And also, I think it's really cool in 2023, they're going to be pretty much creating cross chains for the EVM and Bitcoin blockchain. So we're going to watch what happens there, and I'm going to keep my eyes on it. So moving on to the final or the second to last part, the technical analysis side. So that's my favorite part here. I focus on a lot of technical analysis myself. It's my specialty. So let's do some quick TA. I'm gonna make this as consumable as possible because I know a lot of us don't really care about price action, but also I think it's important, and I cannot find the goddamn brush tool. There it is. Perfect. So I made this into 3 different boxes. Each box represents a zone, and as you can see here, this coin pretty much launched towards the end of the alt season of 2021, and it had a nice rally that yielded 12x returns, right? Approximately. So you saw a nice rally up, and then price kind of went sideways, and then it slowly started breaking down. But it found a home, and it found a home back on this order block here. So what happened here? Price did not break lower, pushed up higher, made another higher low here. Price pushes up, and then it rallies back up to the previous resistance over here, right? And what you notice is that it comes up, comes lower, comes up the second time, lower again, and it breaks through it on this third try. So what you're seeing is kind of the same thing that we saw down here. A series of higher lows, of course, and also a reclaim. So this reclaim here, I'm just going to write R here. This is a reclaim, right? This arrow. And it kind of indicates that it's holding this area and it's pushing off of it. So that's very good. So now the question is, this area looks like to me a potential reclaim. And the reason why I say potential is because it's still questionable, right? So I'm going to put a question mark here, and I'm going to give my reasons why I believe it's going to probably bounce off of it to $4. Of course, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. If you're listening to me, then that's your fault, okay? I'm just giving my 2 cents and giving you an answer as to why using technical analysis, okay? So as you can see, there's a lot of volume here, right? And it's actually the most volume that we've seen on this whole entire chart. So that's my number 1 reason. Also, number 2 reason is that we are pretty much forming bullish price structure, okay? That structure is showing that these resistances, previous resistances, are coming into supports, right? And you can see here, this is a resistance, this area here, and it flipped into a support. Right now, this is basically a support because it broke above it and it's consolidating above it. That's a support right now. The question is, do we hold the support, right? Does the market get weakened because of maybe some more current events, right? We never know what's going to happen, right? We saw so much things happen in 2022 that it boggles my mind. I've been in this market for 5 goddamn years, okay? And even when I looked at the history of Bitcoin, there has not been this many, catalysts or, I want to say, what do we want to call them? collapses, if you will, right? With Luna, 3AK, UST, 3 Arrows Capital, FTX, and the list just goes on and on and on. So, we've seen like 7 collapses this cycle alone. And that's more than any other cycles combined. Like, I just think it's absolutely hilarious. So at this point, I'm not putting anything past us, but I think personally that this probably should hold and go up to $4. So that's my prediction right now. Of course, if you do, if I was to enter that position, I would probably put it in validation somewhere underneath. I wouldn't want to go too low there because then it can get invalidated. But that is my opinion, that if we go up to $4 before we do go lower. And also the other thing was, if you look at the RSI, it's very high as well. So as you can see here, anytime the price does trend, you can see that the RSI is sitting at a relatively high level. So, we're sitting at a high level. And RSI has also made a higher high, so that's another indication that the price is, still trending upwards. That doesn't mean it's going to continue trending upwards, and I want to keep saying that because I could be completely wrong. I completely could be wrong, so it's important that you understand your own strategy, set your stop losses, use proper risk management, and at the top of the video, it literally says, please note that all my views are my own and don't constitute investment advice. So yeah, with that, we'll watch what happens, but I want to be honest, I'm pretty bullish on the future of TON. It did pretty well, and it didn't retrace as much as I would have thought, right? Instead, it's rallying during this bear market, and we're getting positive news, positive price action, and positive sentiment across the board, right? That's what I'm seeing. Now, of course, I could be completely wrong, and I want to just keep saying that because I'm one guy on the internet just like you are watching this video. Okay, I could be completely wrong, even in some points in this article, right? So even the point is that if you see something, don't just completely believe it. Don't just believe one person. And I'm saying that about myself, right? So, I want to be fully transparent. I kind of put a chart there, so this is another way of looking at it if you guys want to read through it. But yeah, going to the conclusion now, to wrap this video up, put everything together. The Open Network has done a great job at executing its protocol despite the hiccup during initial launch, which was the SEC suing them giving back all their money, which is just crazy. I love what they're doing by putting privacy first and allowing applications to build on top of the network. TON is a layer 1 protocol, so it will be battling against other protocols that are layer 1s as well. But it does have good things going for it, like having an ecosystem fund of $250 million. They have unique aspects to it, like offering a decentralized naming service, offering a decentralized storage, which is going to be sometime this quarter, offering I think, what was it, and I'm having a brain fart, such a long video. I appreciate you guys for making it this far. It was, what was it? It was in the first paragraph. DApps, decentralized storage, decentralized VPNs, and also naming service. So yeah, that's pretty much the 4th thing. I think I might have just had a brain fart, but the people behind it also are responsible for Telegram. So you're not just talking about some Joe Schmoes. People were like underrating, or might be underestimating, better said, because like $1.7 billion being thrown at you is just crazy. And that just means that a lot of VCs kind of trusted these two brothers because they built such a powerful platform that is Telegram, right? And I think that this blockchain is also going to kind of mimic the mission of Telegram. And because of that, I'm just so bullish on what's going to happen next. And they understand the technical aspects, because technically Telegram is pretty complex, right? The way that they do things, there's never been a breach, there's never been, any data sold, there's never been any of that funny business. Meanwhile, Google just got sued and pled guilty to selling people's information and also showing people's location for Google Maps. That stuff is unacceptable, and that's basically what TON is trying to put their foot down on and say, hey, decentralization is important. And they've been pretty transparent. So I love everything that they're doing. I'm really excited to see this team continue building, and this is kind of a quick graphic that I thought it would be interesting to share, because remember, they are competing against other layer 1 blockchains like Solana and Ethereum 2.0. So like every other blockchain, there will be pros and cons to everything. My only con is, again, the vesting schedule for the team. If that did change, or maybe you guys have a link of something like that discloses it, feel free to comment it. I'll probably even pin it if it's legit. And I like this protocol, but I want to be very clear with you guys. I'm very, very bullish on the TON ecosystem, what's going to happen. but that does not mean it's correlated to the value of the token, right? So understand that it's not correlated to the value of the token. It just means that I'm bullish on the ecosystem, right? So who knows? Maybe I'm definitely gonna scoop up some Toncoin, but you know, we'll see what happens. If you guys made it this far in the video, please feel free to like and subscribe because it really helps this channel. It really helps my work. And you know, if anything does pop up in the future around TON, I will definitely put it in my daily market updates if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff. So again, feel free to subscribe, like the video, and my favorite slogan, haru haru haru. Peace.